Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Daily Thread. It's a rainy day here in New York.
Great to be
Umbrellas on the street. A few things right now, actually, as we're recording this, in the five towns, there's helicopters flying overhead because they're looking for somebody who was barefoot, potentially with a rifle. All the schools, the yeshivas are on lockdown.
Right. The yeshivas, I think, all the yeshivas are on lockdown. Even the yeshivas up as far as Cedarhurst and Woodbury are on lockdown.
Yeah, well.
According to the reports that we're receiving, police try to serve an individual with a warrant in Far Rockaway, or in Inwood, actually.
Yeah.
And he ran out of the house. According to the description, black male, barefoot, hoodie, a beard, and
Not the best weather to do that today.
I don't know. It's not the best way to not the best weather to be flying a helicopter around either.
I know. I don't know how much they can see from up there, to be honest.
I don't see any helicopters. I saw some pigeons, but
Maybe those are the drones. Maybe they're pigeon drones.
I didn't see anybody. Anyway,
hopefully they catch them by the time this comes out and everyone is all good.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted tomorrow morning on whatever.
Yes, or we'll keep you posted a little later today. Just sign up to the Daily Thread WhatsApp status, and we'll keep you updated in real time. Something that our entire Daily Thread community is going a little bit crazy over is that you, my father, Abba, predicted the correct score of the USA game yesterday.
Right. I was aware of that. Actually, I wasn't aware of it until I actually saw the replay of yesterday's program.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
No, the soccer game? I had it down in my office without the sound. And every time they got close to the goal, I turned the volume up.
By the way, you can't watch it without the sound because I have no idea. You only know if it's getting close to a goal by the announcer's voice going, "Ah!"
I was busy. I was busy on the phone and busy in meetings, and it's annoying to people when you're talking to them and your eyes are kept shifting over to a computer screen.
Oh my gosh, it happened. Me and Madison were on a Zoom meeting yesterday, and we were sitting here, and the screen over there had the soccer game on.
Oh yeah,
and we kept looking over like that.
People are very sensitive to.
We kept looking over that, and the person we had a meeting with is like, "Are you guys watching a game?" And we're like, "No, we're just looking out the window."
People are very sensitive to that. You know, that's like the next worst thing to looking at your phone while you're talking to somebody is to have your eyes shift because it looks like I can tell right away you're looking at a screen. What I wanted to tell you about what I wanted to mention yesterday about the World Cup is that I read that in China they're broadcasting the World Cup, but they show it with no people in the stands.
Huh.
And the reason, what's the reason why they show that?
I'm guessing because they're still trying to show them that
because
the world is still COVIDized.
Yes. In Qatar, at the World Cup, there's no masks required. You don't have to wear masks. And in China, everyone has to wear a mask. So they want the Chinese people, 1.5 billion people, Chinese people, they want them to think that the whole world is still masked. So what they're asking people to do, the crackdown in China, which is really coming to a point now because there's street protests and there's big criticism. So they don't want the Chinese people to see that the rest of the world is not wearing masks. They want them to think everyone's...
That's so crazy.
That is what censorship is. That's what dictatorship is. And the Biden administration is in a bind because so far today, even though they talk about democracy nonstop, they haven't criticized Chinese crackdown on their people. Because guess what? Because it's going to come out. It's going to take another few days or another couple of weeks. China has a lot over the Biden family. They've been doing business with them for decades. I think the Biden family has made billions of dollars from China, and China has them blackmailed.
You should know, there a couple of years ago, Dorsey, the GM for the Houston Rockets, at the time, he had come out and said something pretty bad about the Chinese and when they were protesting in Hong Kong. And I think the NBA may have fined him, but LeBron James came out and condemned him. LeBron James is making a fortune off of China.
They're making,
and they won't say a word about it. Who was it? Daryl Morey, not Dorsey. Daryl Morey, the GM of the Rockets.
And the NBA commissioner, what's his name?
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver will not criticize China. You know, they criticize...
Making too much money.
Yeah, listen, but where is your commitment to where's your commitment to freedom? You know, Enes Kanter had to leave the NBA and change his name to Freedom.
Yeah, you know what? Well,
Freedom.
We'll continue this conversation in a second. But speaking of dictatorships and freedoms, one of the reasons we have so many freedoms here in our country in New York is because the Aguda and what the Aguda does for our Jewish community.
Of America.
The Aguda Yisrael of America. And this coming weekend is the Aguda convention. And you, my friend, if you're not going to be there, you should be watching it online. You can head to the agudaconvention.org. The theme this year is speaking up. It's so ironic because the Chinese can't speak up. The Iranians can't speak up. But do you know who could speak up? We could speak up, and the Aguda speaks up for us. So go ahead and head to the agudaconvention.org. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. Rabbanim, Askanim, Gedolim, and it's something that you should be watching.
That's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be watching
this weekend. I'm gonna, God willing, be there.
You're gonna
this
be there?
weekend.
I'm not just gonna watch it. I'm gonna look for you on the screen.
Okay, I'm gonna try to run in front of a camera.
Okay, so I'd like to see if you're there. You're very easy to spot with the red hair, but
is that so?
There's probably a lot of redheads going today. I go to convention probably.
We'll see. I have a question for you. How many times a week do you think the average Jewish family eats out?
It depends. It depends where. It depends what community, where, what part of the country.
What is that? What does it depend?
What part of the world?
Tri-state area.
The Jewish community?
Jewish community, yeah.
I don't know. Once, twice a week, maybe? Are you going to say it's every night?
I don't know. I saw that the average cost of a meal right now is $13. Eating at home?
For how many people? Per person?
I don't know.
Let's say I think it sounds like it's per
$13.
person.
The average, that's the average cost of eating takeout. So it's probably per person. The average cost at home is $4. So it's like, you want to save money, eat at home. I feel like eating takeout is like a big part of the Jewish community, you know?
Oh, well, you know, we
have so many restaurants.
I know, and the restaurants are full every night.
Every night.
And they're very expensive, especially today.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, we go out with friends sometimes, and I think to myself, you know, we just had dinner for four without wine, without a lot of multiple courses, and it's $500 to eat out. But
and you don't blink.
I think to myself afterwards, if I would have had 2 slices of pizza, I would have been just as full. You know, and that would have cost what, $10, $15?
I was in the city yesterday, and I wanted to grab a bottle of water, so I stopped by my favorite halal food truck outside of the garden.
You got water,
and I got a bottle of water. You know how much that bottle of water cost me?
$5.
$4. And I went to Abigail's. I went to Abigail's in the Madison Square Garden. Me and Nissan.
Yeah, well, it's the
we got a couple of hot dogs.
You did.
Maybe a sausage, a pastrami sandwich. Yeah. 2 drinks. How much?
I would say the hot dog has to be $10.
I'm telling you to give me a total price for, let's say it was
2 hot dogs,
3 hot dogs, a sausage,
3 hot dogs,
pastrami sandwich, and 2 drinks.
$60.
$105.
Oh wow.
$105.
Well, listen, they got you where they want you.
You have no chance. You
got you where you want you when you're in the Madison Square Garden.
I know. It's like, what are you going to do? Not get food?
What are you going to do? You're going to call Uber Eats and they should find you in the garden?
It's not a bad idea. But you think, I guess 1 to 4 amount of times, what are the average of a Jewish family takeout a week?
I don't know. I think there's a tendency to, I think a lot of frum families, we're talking about frum families, okay, religious families, there's a pattern to how they eat, okay? Shabbos, an extraordinary amount of food is generally prepared. Okay?
Sunday leftovers?
Sunday you have leftovers.
Okay, sometimes Monday also?
Sometimes Monday too, depending on how much leftovers you have. Tuesday is like
a dairy night, no?
No. Thursday's a dairy night.
There's 2 dairy nights a week.
You know what? My mother...
let's hear about the Crown Heights meals.
My mother, we had that kind of pattern. Sunday was leftovers, and Thursday night there was like tuna croquettes with spaghetti.
Oh, that just got me nauseous.
Why? That was great. I looked forward to that.
Tuna croquettes?
Yes. You know what a tuna croquette is? Do you know what a croquette is?
It's like a latke.
Yeah. Except little, and it's made with tuna. And then she always made chocolate pudding on Thursday night. I love chocolate pudding. Till this day, I love chocolate pudding. But I can't find any chocolate pudding anywhere.
You can't go to Gourmet Glad and get chocolate pudding?
That's what they call that. That's mousse. I want chocolate pudding. You know, chocolate pudding where the hard shell forms on top of the pudding and underneath is soft pudding. That takes me home.
If anybody can make my father a good chocolate pudding, please let us know.
You know, so that was Thursday night, and of course,
what was Thursday night? That was pudding, croquettes.
Thursday night was the spaghetti and the croquettes.
There's no pizza.
You know, we didn't have branzino like they have today. You know, filet branzino
didn't exist.
I don't know. I think the fish in those days had better security than they have today. Today it's open season on all the fish all the time.
Another story that I want to mention is the Sam Saltz is the first Shomer Shabbos college football player. In his new role with the Aggies, Saltz joins the ranks of other Jews competing in professional sports. Here's a video of Sam dancing on the sideline.
Defense, it's exactly what LSU has.
And Texas A&M, I think. Aggies. Okay, he's you've never seen a guy wearing a yarmulke in football before.
Okay, I have some information about that.
Okay.
I spoke with someone yesterday. I'm not going to reveal who.
Yeah.
Because I think it was a private conversation, so I'm not going to identify the personalities involved. But he said that within the ranks of the higher ups from community, there's a consensus developing among some of the rabbis that Ryan Terrell should not wear his yarmulke when he plays.
What?
That's
why.
That's the feeling. The feeling is that the playing on Shabbos is very questionable. It's borderline.
So you're saying when he plays on Shabbos, he shouldn't wear it, or he shouldn't wear it ever?
He shouldn't wear it in general. Generally speaking, he can't. Where do you want to get him into a corner where you're going to have him wear his yarmulke during the week and not wear it on Shabbos? That's upside down.
Why would he not wear it? Why?
Because it's because I'll find out if I'm free to identify the people that.
You don't have to identify. I'm just curious what the problem is.
It was published somewhere, but it was an internal publication shared by a few people, and they felt that. I'm not saying that he's machal. I just said to the person that I'm speaking to that you can't say it's machal. It's chil Shabbos. It's not that he's desecrating Shabbos. Because you can walk anywhere in Brooklyn or in the Five Towns or in certain parts of Muncie, and you'll see kids playing basketball in their driveways on Shabbos. What's the difference? He's bouncing the ball, and inside the arena is certainly a Rosh Hashanah once he gets in there.
Okay, I don't understand the yarmulke thing.
Oh, because what's the yarmulke thing? The yarmulke thing, they're concerned about sending a message to the youth. To the Jewish youth of America.
I hear.
You see, and if he does his best to keep Shabbos, and he'll say he keeps Shabbos successfully, but he doesn't wear his yarmulke, that's great for him. But it doesn't have to send a message that you could push the envelope, so to speak, or try to widen the lines, the parameters of Shabbos observance.
It is interesting that we're seeing so many observant Jews.
So many. It's a few.
No, but it's a few more than it's ever been. Wearing yarmulkes in professional sports, college football. Never seen that before.
This I'm sure you're going to get feedback on this but this is a classical, substantial debate. Whether he should be wearing a yarmulke or not be wearing a yarmulke. What kind of message does that send?
If there's halachic, again, I'm not gonna get involved in the halacha part of it.
Even within the confines of halacha, you're going to find people that have different opinions. Chalukei deos.
I'm sure that he advises with somebody.
Well, in terms of Jewish observance, we discussed for a minute ago. I was going to ask you how do you know you're Jewish? How does a person? I'll tell you why I'm asking you that.
The question.
You know you're Jewish because your mother was Jewish, and she's Jewish because her mother's Jewish. And going all the way back, a person halachically, whether they're Jewish or not, is determined by whether their mother was a Jew. Okay, that's the standard fundamental halacha. The thing that's holding up an agreement between Bibi Netanyahu and the Likud and United Torah Judaism is how to define who is entitled under the law of return. By the law of return, this is the old argument going back to the founding of the state of Israel. It's an old argument. By what's unique about the state of Israel, that any Jew sitting here in Cedarhurst or in Los Angeles or in Houston, any Jew is entitled by virtue of just going to Eretz Yisrael of claiming citizenship to Israel by virtue of the fact that he's a Jew. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good policy to have, right?
Makes sense.
Here's the next question. Who's a Jew? Who is a Jew?
Or like Matt Walsh, what is a woman?
Who is a Jew? Don't forget. Now, the Likud, Netanyahu, and his negotiators would like to give in to the religious Jews and say that a Jew is a person is halakhically Jewish if he has a Jewish mother. But then he runs the risk of alienating a large majority of American Jews because the Reform movement in America holds that you're a Jew if your mother or father is Jewish. You can have a non-Jewish mother, and if you have a father that's Jewish, you're considered a Jew. Yeah. And the Likud, the state of Israel, doesn't want to risk marginalizing and alienating so many millions of American Jews who are not observant of scrupulously of halacha. but they see an interpretation of Jewish law differently. So that's what the holdup right now is between Netanyahu and the UTJ, United Torah Judaism, having an agreement. So you think you're going to have this great right-wing government, you're going to have increase in Shabbos observance in the state of Israel, but it's not so easy.
That's a lot. It's a lot to...
Listen, that debate is going on from 1948, from the founding of the state. And the thing is, Mi Yehudi, who is a Jew? Who's considered a Jew?
Yeah. This just in from Yeshiva World. Arrested. The suspect in the Jerusalem bombings terrorist was taken into custody.
Right.
In a significant development in the investigation of last week's double bombing in Yerushalayim, Israel, which killed 2, Israel police in Shin Bet overnight and Tuesday arrested several suspects of involvement in the attacks. Security forces have been on high alert since the attack due to fears that terrorists would try to perpetrate another attack before being caught, such as a terrorist who carried out a shooting attack near Ma'ale Adumim. These are the first suspects to be arrested for these deadly bombings, which took the lives of Tadessa Truma and Aryeh Shupag al-Vasham. Last week, the Jerusalem Magistrates Court approved a police request to place a gag order on further details of the investigation. So there are people, under arrest for those attacks, and in all likelihood, they'll probably just sit in Israeli prison, and Arabs are going to try to kidnap a soldier, and then...
no, it's not just that. It's that plus. It's that plus the fact that... whoever they arrested, their family will get a weekly check from the Palestinian Authority, who gets most of their money from the United States and the Europeans. So it's a chain. It's a corrupt chain that flows all the way back to commitment of terrorism and ending young people's lives very tragically and very suddenly.
From Israel Insider, New York health officials worry that polio will strike again in the Hasidic enclave. Experts are alarmed that dozens of wastewater samples in Rockland County have tested positive for the paralytic polio virus linked to a case in the area this summer. And I quote, "You don't find polio just willy-nilly in wastewater in the United States 40 years after eradication," said Dr. Eli Rosenberg, the state's polio response coordinator. Complicating matters are residents who believe polio is a hoax and are skeptical of vaccines. County officials are responding with educational pamphlets in Yiddish and information hotline. That is, that's not good.
Listen, in the aftermath of COVID and the COVID vaccines and the way they were rushed onto the market, there was a certain segment of the population in the frum community that was also always skeptical about vaccines because there are side effects. We're not medical practitioners, but if you speak to doctors, some doctors, they'll tell you that there definitely are potential side effects to vaccines, and it includes serious things like autism. It includes.
I'm not going to say weird, but I was in a hospital not too long ago.
You were visiting somebody, okay? Yeah. And it's a cold.
I was visiting someone in the hospital.
That was a good idea.
And the doctor said to me, he said, "Are you vaccinated?" And
that's post-COVID. That's COVID.
No,
it's COVID related.
Yeah, for a COVID vaccine. I said, "No, not yet." And he said to me, he's like, "Don't do it.
Don't do it.
You didn't hear from me, but don't do it." I was like, "That's a scandal." Yeah. He's like, "Off the record, don't do it." And I'm not saying what people should or shouldn't do. I don't want to get onto that.
No, but I want to say this: pre-COVID, there was a segment of the population. I'm not saying it's necessarily in the Hasidic community, but that's where it seems to land all the time. And it is
old.
That's where it seems to end.
Where it seems to land.
They're very health conscious, and there are side effects. There's like I said, sometimes some people say it's autism, sometimes it's learning disabilities, sometimes it's food allergies. That all comes as an outgrowth of whatever is in those vaccines. If you look at the ingredients in those vaccines, I took the COVID vaccines. I took 2 of them, and I took a booster.
And you got COVID.
Not because I wanted to get the shots. I wanted to go.
And then you got COVID.
I wanted to go to Israel, which in the end they didn't let me go anyway, because the whole country was closed down. But that's a different story. But there are side effects. There are side effects to it. I don't know if I ever mentioned this to you, but I went to I got my booster, and I went to Shopatone for an organization somewhere upstate New York, and in the middle of the night, Friday night, I feel like my lips feel like they're kind of big, No
way, I didn't know about this.
I don't have big lips, do I?
No.
But I started feeling, I said, this feels not like my lips. And I went into the bathroom to look in the mirror, And my lips were huge.
You just had gotten the vaccine?
I just got a vaccine on Wednesday, and this was Friday night.
Oh my
God! I know what I was, and I was away from home. What was I going to do?
So what'd you do?
It's a good thing. First of all, it's a good thing I had a mask. It's a good thing I had a mask.
What'd you do?
Nobody was wearing masks except me. All of a sudden.
What'd you do?
Well, I went to speak to the Hatzalah guy who happened to be the caterer.
In the middle of the night?
No, I waited till the morning. Like 7 a.m.
Nice and risky.
And he said he sent one of the waiters, one of the non-Jewish guys, out to get Benadryl. And I took the Benadryl, and he said if the Benadryl doesn't work, you have to go for steroids to the hospital. So, but I took the Benadryl, and I felt like 2-3 hours later it started to go down gradually.
Okay, that's
but I
good.
wore my mask most of the day, because I had these. But that was a side effect. That was a visible side effect of the booster.
That's crazy.
I looked at the ingredients in the vaccines and the boosters. I didn't recognize any of the ingredients except for one, cholesterol. I don't need anybody putting cholesterol into my body, I don't need additional cholesterol.
People are gonna think we're anti-vax and we're gonna get killed on here.
I took vaccines. I'm not anti-vax. There's plenty of people I know that didn't take the vaccine.
Yeah.
I believed in it. I took it. I thought it was a great thing. Operation Warp Speed.
Yeah.
Trump administration, they rushed it up. It definitely saved lives, I think.
For sure.
But also hurt a lot of people too.
It's very possible.
But what can I tell you? Driving in cars and riding bicycles is a great thing too, but it also hurts people sometimes.
Yeah. Ali Mary tweeted last night, 75 years ago today, the UN voted to partition the land into 2 states, one Jewish and the other Arab. Jewish leaders accepted the plan, and Israel will celebrate its 75th Independence Day in April. Arab leaders rejected it, and the state of Palestine is still waiting to be born.
That's so weird.
It's so funny. I saw a video. I if I can find it, I'll show it. But I don't know where I saw it. But I saw a video yesterday. There was an Israeli reporter in Qatar reporting on the World Cup.
Right.
And a Palestinian went up to him and said, "Who are you here reporting for?" And he said, "I'm here for Israel."
Uh-huh.
And the Palestinian man started, yelling at him and harassing him, saying how occupation and you guys are murderers and you're not here for Israel, you're here for Palestine. And the Israeli reporter says to him, "Oh, what time is the Palestinian team playing?"
Yeah.
What time? Do you have a team? Does Palestine have a
There's
team?
no team. No.
There's no Palestinian.
I saw
team.
another video where there were some people from Qatar, some of the local people were roughing up a reporter. He was telling he's Egyptian. He was reporting for Egypt, but they didn't believe him. They thought it was Israeli.
The Iranians last night after the match, the pro-regime versus the anti-regime were going at it.
In the Iranians?
Yeah, in Qatar. But anyways, the Israeli reporter was screaming at this Palestinian, saying to him, "We've survived every single one of the people who tried to take us down, and we're going to be here forever. I'm forever going to be Israeli, and you're not going to stop it, and no one's going to stop it."
You know what Abiy even said about the Palestinians when he was Israel's ambassador to the UN? He says the Palestinians have never lost an opportunity to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Huh.
Got it?
I mean, they had opportunities to have
many opportunities. Some Israeli leaders like Ehud Barak and Ehud Olmert,
Ariel Sharon,
they're willing to give everything away.
Yeah,
and when they did give things away, like Sharon and Gaza,
Sharon offered, besides for Gaza, he ordered what, 70% of East Jerusalem.
It's a big mistake. Obviously, it was a big mistake, but you can only see it when you look back. Talking about roughing up reporters that they think are Israeli that are really Egyptian during the Crown Heights riots in the early 1990s. I think on St. John's Place, which is after Eastern Parkway, if you know Crown Heights. Of course, it used to be if you went past Eastern Parkway, you were taking your life into your own hands. But now, just from people living in all those streets after Eastern Parkway, Baruch Hashem.
If you didn't put on tefillin yet, you're still taking your life into your own hands.
The community has expanded tremendously. But there was a man that was murdered.
Rosenblum.
No. That's what started the riots. But there was a man that was murdered just because he had a long beard, and he wasn't even Jewish. He was an Italian man. He happened to live there.
Really?
And they killed him because he had a beard. So much for trying to find your victims based on these externals that are really meaningless.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I mean that's pretty much it. There's a lot happening in the world.
All right, so we have to. Today's Wednesday, right? And tomorrow's December 1st, believe it or not.
Yeah.
That's like, it's going to be midwinter before you know it. Oh, I should say we have 2 weddings tonight, by the way.
Oh.
We have 2. It's very rare to have 2 weddings that you have to go to, in a way. They're both Machatanim. making weddings, one in New Jersey and one in Williamsburg.
How are you going to handle that?
I'm going to go to 2 weddings. I'm not going to go at the same time to both weddings. Sometimes, you split up. I can go to one and Eva can go to the other. But no, we're going to one first and we're going to the second. So we'll be for one. One will be at the reception.
Maybe you should call Yankee Geller to drive you.
Maybe if he wants to, that'd be great. If you could take us and just wait for us, save me a lot of time. I'll
Give him a
probably
call.
do that.
Preferred van and services.
What? Preferred van.
Preferred van and services. Yeah.
Preferred van and services. So I'm going to go to the one in Passaic. I'm going to go there first.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go after the chuppah. I'm going to go to Williamsburg and spend the rest of the evening there.
I hear you.
So that's a challenge, and there's a lot of simchas coming up, Baruch Hashem.
Thank God, only simchas.
Keep those going. We have Sheva Brachos then in a couple of days, and then some other things happening that we'll report on.
And something that we're going to implement real soon here at the Daily Thread is that we're going to be able to take phone calls. So we're going to have a number that you can call in if you want to be featured on our program, and we're going to be speaking to people as well. So stay tuned for that. But the first thing you need to do is sign up to the Daily Thread via WhatsApp. Hit the link in the description, the show notes. You want to advertise on this program, please message us on WhatsApp. If you'd like to email us, you can send us an email at thedailythread@meaningfulminute.org. We're very excited to come back at you with another episode tomorrow, making that the 4th one for this week. We're on a roll. Right. We're killing these.
That's right. We're knocking them out.
Feeling good, not feeling good, bad weather, good weather.
And the great thing is we're hearing from people from all over the planet.
Yeah, it's incredible. It really, really is incredible. So we love hearing your feedback. A lot of passionate responses about the Aliyah conversation we had, and we definitely will pick up on that and continue it. I know a family, the Wahlberms in Staten Island, which I mentioned in the other episode, they had thoughts on what we mentioned. They were happy that we discussed it. Should I read their feedback? Do you want to hear it?
Sure, you could read it. Then we should reach out to some people once you have your phone set up here that made Aliyah recently and then years ago, and how life has changed for them. I think that'll be an interesting feature too.
Right. Okay. So somebody wrote here in response, I disagree with what your father said very strongly in terms of blaming Eretz Yisrael on marketing itself as a tourist destination versus the Torah of making Aliyah. But that's fine. It was a very nice episode. I just want to add my 2 cents as well. I think it does a disservice to the Israeli government to frame it like that. They literally pay people to move here. They never stopped Aliyah during Corona, right, despite the whole country being locked down.
Right.
They definitely encourage people to make Aliyah. They give us a decent amount of support through social programs and Nefesh B'Nefesh, which is founded by the Israeli government. Obviously, they get something out of it. It isn't, for some in the government, it is. It isn't religiously motivated, but there is no one who believes more in the issue of Eretz Yisrael than the Israelis.
There's a person that lives in Israel?
Yeah, there's a person that moved.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with being
But they said,
tourist.
I want to finish. They said, but really in the same breath, your father said basically that it wasn't a value instilled in him by his parents. His normal was visiting when they did, but moving there wasn't even talked about. And I think he hit the nail on the head when I probably rant most about. It's not a value taught explicitly in yeshivas. It's about time that it is.
Well, listen, if yeshivas encourage everybody to go Aliyah, the yeshivas would be empty within 5 or 10 years. Everybody has to watch out.
I think that, again, doubling down on our infrastructure here, building the most beautiful shul and bati midrashim and everything. We're very invested in America.
So,
we're building the fanciest restaurants here in America.
So what do you think? We think it's the wrong thing to do?
I mean, why? Maybe we should be invested in I don't know.
Well, the shuls, the bati midrashim and the shuls are going to be flying over to Eretz Yisrael when Mashiach comes.
Okay.
The only problem is what part of the country they're going to land in. Everyone wants to be in Yerushalayim. So anyway, but
I called dibs on Rechavia.
That takes care of that particular.
What about the restaurants?
I don't know about the restaurants. I don't know. I don't know
about American Dream Mall?
We have to look into that. I don't know. They're probably going to have to give it over to some non-Jews and get compensated for it. But whoever's going to buy it from them is going to overpay tremendously.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because that's what Mashiach time is all about.
Okay. Well, we look forward to tomorrow morning waking up and hearing the shofar blast and heading on our Eagles over to Ben Gurion.
There's no Eagles. It's 787.
Oh, you're just a little scared. You're a little scared of flying on the back of an eagle.
No, there's no. It means an airplane.
Oh, that's
it means a 787.
Don't get nervous. It's okay. You can fly on an eagle.
It means a Dreamliner.
A Dreamliner?
Yeah, you're not flying on an eagle.
Why not?
Because there's not that much room on the back of an eagle. You got to take a lot of people over there.
You haven't seen one of those Mashiach. You haven't seen one of those Mashiach eagles.
The miracle is the entire aircraft is going to be business class. So
Is that the miracle?
that's the miracle.
Shout out Kenny Rosenberg. You better get crack-a-lacking on those seats. Anyways, we'll be back at you tomorrow with another episode. Have a great day.